Hello there, this is Nawaz Nihal, and today in this video I will be discussing you this report released by ASER that which shows that ISKCON enrollment have fell drastically during this pandemic, that is during this COVID unlock phase 1 and phase 2, and it will be presented by me, that is Nawaz Nihal. So let us get started with this. So first we have to know that why this thing is in news, this report is in news. So this report was released by Annual Status of Education Report, ASER survey was done, and in that survey it was realized that the rural children who were not enrolled in the school doubled during the pandemic. And again, the enrollment increased in government school, and the enrollment in private schools have decreased. Means now guardians are trying to avoid a kind of budget they are giving in private school, so they are enrolling their kids in government school, which might be a good sign for the state and might be a bad sign given the current scenario of the government schools. So let us get to the key points which were in this report, and the key point was over a third of children which were enrolled in class 1 and 2 have never attended school in person. Means these are those children, these are pre-pandemic or during pandemic children or pandemic children. Means they have, although they have been enrolled in their school, but they have never been to their school. So this was the case. One third of children were in class 1 and 2 have never attended their school, and about 76,000 households, that's a very large sample size, were surveyed in this sample, and about children aged between 6 to 14 were surveyed, and it was found that 92% of children had textbook for their grade, and only a third had access to any other learning source. Means 8% of children don't even have textbook which is necessary for their learning, and only a third, means of this 92%, one third of them only a third of them had access to any other learning resources like mobile or any other reference material like that. So we can see the scenario which these reports have bring out, and also the smartphone plays a major role in this because it limited the access to the student, and online learning was also restricted to them because as we can see, a quarter of students online learning were restricted, and we will be discussing this in a map which is raised by the ASER studies, so and showing different states. So this is the map. So the problem area with this map is this: Rajasthan, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal, and Meghalaya. These are the major problem areas which shows a very poor report when it comes to online learning, and Kerala show a remarkable growth when it comes to online learning. At the end of this slide is at the end of this presentation, I'll be giving a case study also, that some case studies will be there that what were adopted in Kerala, so that Kerala showed this kind of growth, and also Maharashtra and Gujarat so a nominal good kind of growth, but Kerala topped the chart, and these states Rajasthan, UP, Bihar, these below 10-20% of these students have access to technology when it comes to education. So what this comes to a thing, that what is digital divide. Means as the map here is showing that almost 91% of kids in Kerala have access to education through online portals, and less than 20% of students have access in these major 5 states which constitute a huge chunk of the population of India. So this difference can also be said as digital divide. So what is that digital divide? So in this slide I have giving a presentation, a definition what is digital divide. So it refers to the gap between demographic and regions that have access to modern information and communication technology. Means those people which have the access of to modern communication and technology, and with the percentage to those which who don't have access. Okay, so it also encompasses not only the technical but also the financial ability to utilize the technology along with access to the internet. So these kind of things comes under the digital divide. First is how much percentage of demography is have access to modern information and technology, and also is it technologically and financially feasible to attain those kind of access to internet. So digital divide exists between developing and developed states, and it can also exist between urban and rural population, which is a huge factor in India. Young and educated versus older and less educated individual might have different kind of digital interaction. So these kind of things divides India digitally, that these kind of things determine who has the more access to digitalization. And as I have discussed, the urban rural divide is single biggest factor in the digital divide. Means in urban area, Wi-Fi signals are there, mobile networks are there, good internet connectivity providers are there. But in rural areas, these kind of things are rarely available. Means many rural areas are there which have available of this kind of technology, availability of this kind of technology. But many rural areas still lack these kind of things, and the consequences are very much that it leads to isolation, which indeed affect our mental health. And also educational barriers are there when digital divide is there. So we will be discussing all this, that what are the consequences of especially COVID-19 and digital divide on education. So firstly we will let us discuss the technical point of view, that what are the technical consequences. Means some students lack laptops or tablets or any other things. So along with they also have this poor connectivity to internet, and also if they are using mobile phones, there is this concern of distraction. So first consequences is this. And another consequences is, especially in the economical weaker section or disadvantaged group, have to suffer more when it comes to internet connectivity. And also when little children are not going to education, and when little children are not taking the technical advantage, there might be case that they might be drawn to child labor or child trafficking, because somehow they have to provide some kind of efficiency to the family. There's this typical thinking behind that. So we have to make sure that those children which are less advantageous should be provided with good technology, and digital divide gap should be minimized between these two. And also there is the psychological impact to the children. As I have discussed earlier, also there is a feeling of isolation between the children, that there is this internet term, as we all say, FOMO, fear of missing out. So these kind of things can happen when a children is not provided with the technology which is needed for it. And also there is this there was this trauma of second wave, which have put a deep imprint on the students' minds. So, and another thing is there is this technical constraint also. Means even if the institutions are trying to provide it, trying to minimize the digital divide, but there is this technical constraints also. For example, educational institute and teacher also face technical constraint. Means not only the student, the teachers also have less access to internet. Teachers also encounter problems when they try to access internet or when they try to use technology. And also parents also face difficulties in adjusting to whole online system. There is this whole generation gap between parents and children and this online education system. So parents also have difficulty in adjusting to that. And there's this disadvantage when it comes to practical and physical teaching. Means there are some labs are there. Means for example, in civil engineering, in different aspect of engineering, in branches like geography, there's practical are utmost importance. So there is this also a constraint that how practical things are managed in online education. So although there are many softwares which can provide an alternative, but this software cannot totally withdraw the practical which people do on ground. So these are the technical constraints which one face when digital divide is included. And also there are some suggestion, means as we have seen there are problems, so there must be a suggestion. So a special focus should be provided by the government, means government should initiate certain steps to access to increase the access of digital education by the student. And also a large investment is also needed, means as we have all seen that the public private partnership PPP model should be adopted. So these all things can be written if these are asked in our mains examination, means what are the suggestions to improve the digital divide in India, if suppose a question is asked. So we can modify our answer with these kind of points like public private partnership is needed. So we can do like this. And also broadband infrastructure fund should be given. For example, currently in India there is this FCI fund is there. So simply FCI fund is there to provide food to everybody. So similarly a broadband infrastructure fund can also be provided, so that a can be given to everyone in regardless of their economic situation, regardless of their geographical location. A broadband connection can be given to them. So these are few suggestions to improve it. And also we have to construct digital highways, means digital highways like as we can see there are this, as we have seen in case of electric current, like there is whole network of electric current, like whenever we cross our highways we see there are electric poles and electric wires going away to give the current to rural areas also. Similarly on that concept we can provide this broadband highways, digital highways, which can indeed penetrate into rural areas, and this should be done on a war footing by our government. And also the last mile delivery should be given, that person at the end of the line, means village service should be given. Centers and school should be provided with internet, so that this digital divide can be minimized. So and also there are some initiatives which are quite worthy to discuss here, because this initiative you can use as a case study in your mains, and also you can use this could be asked in prelims. And the case study which I personally marked for this digital divide is that one is Dhimsha Community Radio Center. What happened, this was established in South Odisha and in Kodapur area. So what was done, that with radio transmission they provided online learning, means not online learning, with radio transmission they provided educational stuff through it, so that everybody, means radio access can be gained by anyone, means whenever whatever the location it might be, whatever the economical aspect of that man is, but a radio can be afforded by any man and of any geographical location, at least in India. So they in Dhimsa Community Radio Center, what they did is they provided educational content, they broadcast educational content for this. Okay, and similarly in Kerala, as we have seen in that map of India which was discussed at the starting of the video. So in Kerala there was this 91% of people have access to online education. So initiative like Focus, which was the government vocational higher secondary school in Payolli, was working with Gram Panchayat, Thikkodi Gram Panchayat and Payolli municipality. So they provided about 200 free Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi points, so that anybody which have a digital device, have a Wi-Fi device, means anybody which have a mobile, a computer, a laptop or a tablet can have access to Wi-Fi. So this kind of thing drastically improve Kerala graph, as we have seen also that 91% of Kerala has this access to online education, compared to those states which have access to 0 to 20%. Kerala made a significant role in that. Even the Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, have cited this report in one of his tweet and said that this was a major achievement made possible due to this kind of initiative by people and by government. So these are the two case studies which I think would be beneficial if we cite these kind of case study in our mains examination. And also there are these government programs, so don't worry about these all thing, remembering all this, because we will be providing these kind of slides to our Telegram channel also, and I'll be dropping that Telegram channel link to description, and you can see onto that. So I will not be discussing each of them, but some are discuss worthy, means in prelims they might twist questions according to that. For example, PM e-Vidya is important. It was launched to enable multi-mode access to education. And also there is this NEET. It was launched for by government of India to use artificial intelligence in learning. So for example, in prelims, a question could be asked that NEET is associated with artificial learning, or it will be asked that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, or it will be asked that something geographical location would be given. So if we know that NEET was there in artificial intelligence, so we can mark it correctly. So this kind of questions, because in nowadays prelims is too much dicey, we have to make a 360 aspect of everything so that we can crack the prelims also. And similarly, this SWAM platform was launched for online courses. So just a cursory look on this thing will help us. We will be providing this in our Telegram channel also. And similarly, this kind of program were also there. And in this program, this Diksha platform is necessary because this was launched by government of India, and one nation one digital platform was there. So whenever this one nation thing is there, we have to make it dear, because this one nation thing is very dear to our current government. And many programs are launched, like one nation one solar panel, even one sun program was launched. Similarly, like that, one nation one pension, something like that were also launched. And so this Diksha platform is quite important. Similarly, this Mandorpan initiative was important because it attracts the mental health issue. So whenever we are discussing mental health with our mains answer writing, we can also discuss this Mandorpan initiative by government of India. So this was it, and thank you for it. And do have a look on this graph, because that kind of reflect our demography also, that which kind of state have more access to digital education, which kind of state have more access to internet, which kind of state have more access to education also. All these kind of demography can be interpreted from this simple picture. So have a look on that, and I'll be providing all this onto our Telegram channel also. Thank you. Have a great day.